autumnal temperatures in downtown Omaha for midweek non-conference men's soccer. It's the Creighton Blue Jays and the Jacksonville Dolphins right here on Jays Video. Hello everybody, I'm John Schreiner alongside Donnie Barnes here from Morrison Stadium. Got midweek men's soccer for you. Non-conference action, the Jacksonville Dolphins come in at 1-7, having just won their first contest of the year a week ago. For Creighton, they're 5-1-1, Donnie, and they are on a 4-game win streak.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity tonight to continue that momentum. 4 wins in a row, and going against a Jacksonville club who have really struggled at the start of this year.
Well, we'll take a look at a player to watch for the Jacksonville Dolphins. He's their leading scorer.
Yeah, Igor Ferreira, you see him out of Brazil. He's the only player on Jacksonville's club who has multiple goals this year. He's scored twice. They're going to need some people to step up if they're going to spring a big upset on the road today.
And at home tonight, we're going to take a look at the front man, Sven Koenig.
Yeah, Sven was a prolific goal scorer at the Division II level before he transferred here last year. Had a really struggling 2017 campaign, but he scored 3 goals now, the leading goal scorer on the season for Creighton, and he's really gotten going in these last few matches. We'll see if he can continue that tonight.
Blue Jays have shut out 5 straight opponents at home. We'll see if they can make it 6 against Jacksonville here tonight. Back with you from Morrison Stadium. The Jacksonville Dolphins making the long trip from the east coast of Florida out to the heartland to take on the Creighton Blue Jays. Newly crowned number 9 team in the country, number 15 in the RPI. Tall task ahead for the Dolphins of Jacksonville, and you get a look at their lineup right here.
Yeah, and we highlighted Igor Ferreira in our open. We'll also talk about Matt Levy, who's starting in net for them tonight. His 4th appearance of the year. They have split time between 4 different goalkeepers so far this season. They've conceded 26 goals in their first 8 matches. That's far too many. Of course, it's not just on the goalkeeper. The whole back line has to improve and play better. But Matt Levy, you suspect he's going to have a really strong game in net for them tonight.
And it's certainly been an adventure for the Dolphins so far this season. There you see them. They will be in the all-green with white pinstripes. A couple of really good-looking kits here tonight, Donnie. The Blue Jays breaking out the all-whites with the blue cross.
Very sharp. First time I've seen the whites in person this year. Of course, their normal home kits are the blue with the white cross. But, yeah, really sharp-looking kits for Creighton this season as we see their starting lineup. And I always look forward to seeing Akeem Ward motoring up and down that left side. He is such a dynamic presence both along the back line and in the attack, and those overlapping, marauding runs that he makes. He puts the opposing defense under such pressure throughout the match, and against a Jacksonville defense that has broken a number of times this year, we'll see if Akeem can be a big factor in this game.
Not a total surprise. He started a few times this year, but Tor Troston gets into the lineup tonight.
Yeah, and he's a guy that's been getting better and better. This whole Creighton team has gotten so much better this year, and it starts with that back line and that defensive spine of the midfield. They've thrown 4 straight, I say thrown, they have, you could say, kicked
right.
4 straight shutouts here at home. And they have just been incredible in defense. And those great Creighton teams that went to college cups in past years, that's how it always started, with that spine, with not conceding goals. 2011, most notably, they conceded 5 goals that entire season. Last year, they gave up more than they've given up since 2001. They've really corrected that in the early going this season.
Paul Cruz has not had a lot to do. That back line, as you say, Donnie's been really solid. Cruz, the Big East goalkeeper of the week. Here are the statistical comparisons. There you see the records, 1-7. The Blue Jays on that 4-game win streak. Started the season 1-1-1. Won the last 4 in a row. You see right there, it's been a struggle on the defensive side for Jacksonville.
Yeah, and obviously in college soccer, you're always talking about small sample sizes, but the sample's pretty convincing in this case. Jacksonville, they've played a very tough schedule, as they always do in non-conference, so there are some mitigating factors. They've played some really good attacking teams, but still, 3.25 goals against per match compared to 0.29 for Creighton. It's a stark differential.
Teams on the pitch getting set for their first ever meeting. Jacksonville and Creighton have not ever played one another in the history of their programs. Jacksonville first played soccer in 1957. And they play in Omaha for the first time tonight. Underway. And it's Jacksonville with the kickoff. Connor Lufkin launching a long ball ahead. Dealt with appropriately by LeGros. Here's Beauplan. Beauplan, a junior out of Gonave, Haiti. We were talking a little bit before the game, Donnie. The Jacksonville players came up wearing coats, long pants. They've got a lot of players from the Caribbean, Cuba, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, Creighton has players from Norway, Sweden, Germany.
Yeah, that starts to become a factor as you get towards October now. That weather cooling down, and Creighton players seemed very used to it in warm-ups. Jacksonville maybe a little cooler than what they've been playing in so far this year, but I'm sure they'll get acclimated eventually.
LeGros resetting things for Creighton. Now played out wide. Here's Espeleta. Budati tries to chip one forward, and then the clearance doesn't go anywhere. Knotted up by Bryson Pink. Pushed out to midfield, no foul called, and Hawkinson able to reset. Key Ward. Now Hawkinson in space. Plays it through for Koenig. Koenig, Lufkin on his shoulder, and he's called offside as the flag on the far side was up.
It's a good job of the Jacksonville back line to step up and create that offside. And we talk about Jacksonville's struggles so far this year. We should point out they started last season 0-7 as well and wound up advancing to the conference tournament final and almost beating Lipscomb, fell in overtime. So certainly plenty of time for them to have a successful campaign, but they're going to have to start improving pretty soon.
The long ball for Barouani was too long. But it will be a Jacksonville throw. Beauplan coming up to take it from his right back position. Chance for Jacksonville to perhaps put together an attack, and it goes astray. Ridestrand will clear up to Koenig. Now Koenig has something working. Played through to Espeleta. Looking on for Trostin. But it's cleaned up and cleared out by Dixon. Now Jacksonville. Played through. Cruz has to come off his line, and just does bother the on-rushing Barouani and let it trickle over the line.
That was very coolly done by Paul Cruz, the freshman goalkeeper, letting that ball roll out of play very calmly. We'll see it again here. You see Cruz comes out. He could pick this ball up, and he just decides, no, I'm just going to dummy the attacker and let it roll across the end line.
To the wing for Ward. Hawkinson. Touched off the leg of Jesus Colombo, another foreign-born player out of Venezuela. A lot of international flavor on this Jacksonville roster. Trostin. Ridestrand back to Trostin. Budati chipping ahead for Espeleta. Cross comes in from Espeleta. Back post, Hawkinson running on. Watched by Beauplan. Now Ward. Blue Jays settling into possession now.
It was good work by Hawkinson to keep that play alive along the end line and retain possession. Keeps this attack going.
And all the way back to Julius Four. Dottie nods inside. Turn from Ridestrand. Budati tries to turn it to the outside, and foul going to be called against Espeleta.
It was a very nice sequence by the Jays. A needless foul given away by Espeleta there. Putting the opposition under consistent pressure over the last couple minutes. Last thing you want to do is commit a cheap foul here and give Jacksonville time to regroup.
Polot turning in midfield. Finds Trostin. just sticks out a foot, and it's thumped clear.
Nice work by Ridestrand to settle that. The little scoop ball for Ward, too. I like it.
And then a flicked pass from Ward, and Hawkinson with the one-touch turn, and he's fouled. And a stern warning for Connor Lufkin.
Well, the end product hasn't quite been there yet for the Jays, but we've seen some really slick moves already. The team playing with a lot of clear confidence after this 4-match winning streak.
Crossfield ball for Budati, but it's picked off. And Budati takes down Inti Antunes as he looked to be away. Fortunate to not get a yellow card there, Budati. That was a very intentional foul.
Yeah, that's what you have to be careful of if you're Creighton. You're dominating possession and territory as you expect to, but got to be wary of those counterattacks, especially when you give the ball away in transition.
Chip through. Just too far for Steven Saunders, Rockledge, Florida native, sophomore. Here's LeGros. Back to the Big East goalkeeper of the week, Paul Cruz. 5 shutouts on the season. Has him sitting at number 4 in the nation in that category. Pass picked off by Colombo. And then the official becomes an obstacle. And a foul called against Espeleta. Played ahead by Dixon. 4 there to cancel it. And Trostin on to set the attack. Long ball played ahead, but Koenig was between 2 defenders. Comes up with the ball anyway. Ridestrand to his midfield partner, Polat. Hawkinson, Ward, running on. Ward, can he get the cross away? It's off the foot of Redondo Beauplan, and it will be the first corner of the match. This one for the Blue Jays.
That's that attacking intent that Akeem Ward always brings, bombing up and down that left flank. Serving crosses in this case winning a corner.
It will be Ridestrand to take it. Hawkinson fell down at the far post, might have had just a bit of space, and then Julius Four is ushered out of bounds.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, because if he'd been able to get to that ball, you're right, he was unguarded at that back stick. Moving away from the goal, so it would have been a difficult angle, but you would have liked to have seen what he could have done with it.
Clever back flick on the other side of the field by Antunes, but Barouani called for offside. So no real fireworks yet. Nobody with a shot on goal. Just under 10 minutes gone. Ball came off Hawkinson. It'll be a throw into Jacksonville. Jacksonville University, of course, in Jacksonville, Florida. University founded in 1934. Their enrollment just over 4,000, 4,222. Play in the Atlantic Sun Conference. They reached the ASUN final a year ago after starting much the way they did this season with an 0-7 start. Managed to get some momentum through the conference slate. And this one picked off by Espeleta, has options but takes it himself and rifles one well high and wide.
Yeah, Espeleta, you said it, he had options. He had a couple of them. He had Tor Trostin to his right. Can't really see it there. Just at the end, you can see Trostin to his right. I think Troston would have loved to have seen Espeleta try to slide him in there. He also had Koenig to his left, chose to take it on himself.
Ball pops high in the air. And Tunez doing battle with four. Four comes out the better. Hawkinson running on. Kuba Polat, who has served as that calming influence in midfield so well this year. He and Rydstrand playing in that sort of withdrawn center midfield role. They have done wonders for settling the ball and being stalwarts in front of that back line. They've had as much to do with only conceding 2 goals as anyone.
Yeah, and that's where it starts. When you have a freshman in net, and Paul Cruz has played exceptionally well so far this year, especially with his inexperience. It's been great, as this is a handball against Creighton. But yeah, you're right, that whole back line and the defensive portion of the midfield, it's been night and day from last season to this year, at least through the non-conference portion of the season.
They just look more settled on the pitch. Everybody looks like they know what's expected of them, where their teammates are going to be. And I don't think we saw that last year, Donnie. They never looked settled.
Yeah. Very jittery at points last season. A team that looked like they were always afraid of making the next mistake, and then they often did in key spots. And this year, just much more confidence.
Long ball played ahead for Koenig. He is offside once again. And Koenig leading scorer for the Blue Jays. Knocked in a pair against Butler. Thumped clear by Lufkin. And Ward with an errant touch that chases him all the way back to LeGros. Ball floated over the top. I think LeGros was looking for Koenig, but mishit it. And Ward with a tough challenge. That on Colombo. And I think he got the ball, but it was still sore for Colombo. Time stopped now as Colombo's still down on the pitch.
Well, we saw this in Sunday's women's match here at Morrison Stadium. Ball and then foot, and it flexes that foot in an awkward position. And as you were saying in that match on Sunday, that's such a tough way to take a ball off your foot or ankle. You're not prepared for it, and it can flex that foot or ankle the wrong way in that split second. It's really painful.
That is the junior Jesus Colombo out of San Cristobal, Venezuela, being attended to by a trainer. Certainly hope he's all right. It was a heavy collision between his foot and that of Akeem Ward. Jesus will get up. He helped off the pitch, but doesn't look too much worse for wear. Just under 32 minutes remaining here in the first half. Still no score. The first ever meeting between the Jacksonville Dolphins and the Creighton Blue Jays.
Jacksonville don't have a sub ready to go, so at least for the moment they're going to have to play with 10.
Well, I think they'd certainly like to keep Colombo on the pitch. He wouldn't have a re-entry if he was substituted in this first half. And we're back underway. Played ahead for Hawkinson. Keeps it alive as Ward comes running on. It does trickle over the end line for a goal kick. Mentioned at the top that there have been 5 straight home shutouts for the Blue Jays dating back to the final game of last season. That's 540 minutes and 54 seconds coming in. It's just 100 minutes or so short of the all-time school record for home shutout minutes consecutively. So if by chance this game would go to a double overtime with no goals scored by Jacksonville, they could break the record tonight. Touched over the end line, and it will be a goal kick for Paul Cruz.
Yeah, Creighton also trying to match a program record for consecutive home shutouts. They didn't concede a goal in their final home match here last year. So they're trying to make it 6 consecutive home shutouts. They've done that twice in program history. Like in 99 to 2000, and then again in 2011. I mentioned that was the year they only gave up 5 all season.
Koenig out for Hawkinson. Played through, back to Koenig. Onto his right foot. Back to the top for Pollard, who leaves it. Ridestrand rifles one low, but it's touched by Beauplan. Out wide for Espeleta. Good defending out there by Antunes.
Yeah, very well tackled by him. Good pressing by the Jays, though, forcing a little hasty clear from the goalkeeper and another attacking throw.
The name we haven't mentioned, Donnie, is the leading scorer, the player that we highlighted in the open, Ferreira.
Yeah, he's been very quiet so far.
Ward skips past Beauplan. Hawkinson crossing in. Good job by Lufkin to touch it away. And then an errant kick. And that's going to be a foul called on Steven Saunders.
Jays initially looked like they might want to take that quickly. Now they'll line it up as we see that foul. Pretty clear high boot into the midsection of Joel Ridestrand.
Blue Jays aren't a team with a ton of height. They don't have the big center back that you drag forward as you would usually think of it. Koenig is 6'1". This one played to the far post. Hawkinson back there, nodded back to the middle. Comes to Julius 4. And Legros watches it over into touch. Mitch Legros, just 5'11". Julius 4 is 6'1", so nobody in that 6'3", 6'4" range, the kind of center backs you drag up to take those corners.
Yeah, and the Jays got what they wanted initially on that free kick a moment ago. They won the first ball, a pretty clear header by the end line. Didn't have the angle to put it on target. Then that second ball, like you said, they just didn't have any height in the box to direct that second ball towards.
It's Colombo back on the pitch after the collision with Ward. And then Legros is fouled by Barouani. And a free kick coming for Creighton with 27.5 minutes remaining in the first half.
Strong defending by Hawkinson. Now Jacksonville really incensed at this decision.
Just noticing that the game has gotten a little bit chippy in the last few minutes. There's, you know, a little touch on the ankle, a knee in the back of the thigh, and then Barouani coming up behind Akeem Ward. Spoletta out to Budati. Tried a 1-2 with Trostin. It didn't come off.
That's the other thing that I've liked about Creighton thus far this season. There's a little more attitude to their game. You don't want anything to get out of control, of course, but they've just, along with that increased confidence and calmness we were talking about earlier, there is a little more chippiness and a little more toughness to them, it seems.
And they've done it without getting fouled, without picking up cards.
No.
They're currently 10th place in yellow cards in the Big East Conference.
Yeah, they've been smart about it. That's what you want.
stripped away, but a foul called against Koenig. Rather not against Koenig. It will go his way. Have another look.
It's a strange, well, I guess they're
the arm swing is what got it.
Yeah, the high arm. And now we're going to have our first card.
And a yellow card shown to Jesus Colombo. Has been somewhat of a problem for Jacksonville. 9 yellow cards shown in 8 games. Make it 10 in 9. Hawkinson inside for Ridestrand. Here's Ward. It's been all Blue Jays so far.
And Colombo's going to get called for another foul here. You see the referee immediately go over to him and say no more. And I was just watching Colombo after that yellow card was issued, and he wasn't letting up at all. He was still steaming into challenges and really eager to snap at somebody again. And that's fine, but when you're on a yellow, especially in the first half with still 70 minutes to play in the game, you got to take it easy a little bit. You can't afford to even take a chance at getting sent off and reducing your side to 10 men. And Colombo's looking really frustrated. Just a little shove there on Akeem Ward. You're probably not going to get a second yellow for that, but why take that risk? That's just not smart.
You're certainly going to get a talking to from Aber Estrada. Here's Polat skipping past Colombo. Pass goes astray. And this one played through. Baruani trying to run on, but Cruz well off his line. Breaks up the attack.
See, and that's so good because not only does he come out to break that up, like you said, some freshman goalkeepers would have just booted that out into touch or anywhere. Instead, he finds a teammate very calmly with a pass to start an attack the other way.
Espeleta. Now Ridestrand. Wanted to play switch to Ward, but goes back to LeGros. Budati to Espeleta, back to Budati down in the corner. Yunus Budati past one defender, crossed into the box and nodded away, and then finally cleared, but only as far as Polat. He'll take a first time shot and a save. Good effort by Levy to get down. It was headed toward the far post on a shot from distance by Kuba Polat.
Well, and he lined that up with his right foot. I thought, boy, it's going to be tough to keep it down from that range. He did. It's a good effort.
First shot on target for either side.
It was a great run by Espeleta a moment before to slice through the defense along the end line and put a cross into the box.
Here's Ward. Koenig has it stripped. And now Baruani. Playing a through ball, but good positioning by Julius Ford to stop the through ball.
Yeah, otherwise Bryson Pink was in. And that's what you have to be careful of against Jacksonville. They only have 1.5 players forward, essentially. But when the ball comes to their feet in transition and Creighton are out of position up the pitch, they can hurt you. And they almost did there.
Koenig slipping past defenders. Plays out wide for Hawkinson. Now Polat. Blue Jays starting to look more and more like scoring a goal. Ward slips inside. Past Saunders. Now Espeleta. Chipped in for Budati. Budati with the right foot. And it is off a Dolphin and out into touch.
I liked the idea from Budati, though. Take it down, get it on your left foot, have a strike.
That shot from distance by Trostin never got off the ground and then easily collected by Matt Levy.
But I like that the Jays in these last couple of minutes are really trying to put end product behind their attacks. Put balls on target, test the goalkeeper. We've talked about the issues that Jacksonville have had this year, the number of goalkeepers they've started in net already. So you want to test that goalkeeper, make him make some saves.
We've made a lot of their defensive struggles, Stoney, but if you look at the way they've only generated 8.5 shots per game offensively as well. And some of that will come from being under pressure, of course, but then you look at Creighton, they're only allowing just over 8.5 shots per game. So you keep Jacksonville at their average, it doesn't look good for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and as a defense, you're going to break eventually if you're seeing that much pressure throughout 90 minutes.
Ward inside for Hawkinson. Flicked ahead. Koenig on the end of it. Out to Budati. Here's Ridestrand. Polot. Hawkinson. Played a ball toward the far post. He was hoping someone would run on. No one in white there to collect it. Dolphins just trying to get out of their own end for a little bit here.
The Jays have pressed nicely in this first half, putting that back line under pressure, not giving them much time and space on the ball. Not allowing them to play out of the back comfortably, although they're doing a nice job here in this sequence, the Dolphins.
Beauplan. Ferreira knocks it ahead for Antunes. Step overs, defense comes, Antunes between them. Antunes goes down in the box, and it's a goal kick.
Well, it's a wonderful run from Antunes. Didn't look like a penalty from up here. I'm sure we'll get another look, and Antunes certainly wanted one. You said it, the step overs. 2, 3, splits the defenders. That's a great move. Another one here. I don't know. That would have been harsh. Looked like he was already going to ground as there was contact, if there was any, but terrific run.
Substitutes coming on. Reed Davis, the freshman from Fleming Island, will come in. He moves into the forward spot, and Barawani's going to come over and play on the right wing.
And you saw as he went to the bench there, Jesus Colombo being talked to by his head coach Mauricio Ruiz. I think that's a good substitution from Coach Ruiz. Getting Colombo out of there for now, making sure he doesn't pick up that second yellow, at least before halftime. Let him calm down a bit.
Koenig. Played to the corner for Budati, running on. Crossed in. Hawkinson there. Gets ahead to it. Not on target. And it's cleared out to Ridestrand. Nodded back to Ward. Hawkinson. Hawkinson with a one-touch cross. Nodded away by Lufkin. This Jacksonville defense that has been under pressure for much of the first half, but has yet to crack. Done admirably so far. Now Saunders trying to start something. Fresh sub. Davis fouled from behind.
Yeah, and they've stuck Davis up top, and that's what they want him to do. Receive that ball with his back to goal, draw some fouls, break up play, hold the ball up, buy some time for your defense to regroup.
I think you could see the strategy with Barawani, Donnie. They wanted him to run in behind and get balls over the top, but they just were not able to do it.
Right.
Here's the ball over the top for Koenig. He's through. Can he get it on net? Koenig plays it low, but Levy down well to stop it. And a big save from the freshman keeper.
Well, I thought Levy could have come out earlier, but he chose to stay mostly home, but made himself big. A great stop on Koenig there. As we see it again, Koenig clean through this ball. That touch is a little heavy there. What a great left foot stop there. David De Gea-esque with that foot.
The long legs of Matt Levy. There's Barouani. Ward touches it away. And then Ridestrand gets a foot in. Blue Jays looking to counter. Koenig down the wing. Can he keep it in? No.
I think we should compliment Matt Levy so far, the Jacksonville goalkeeper, because we highlighted him when we were looking at the starting lineups prior to this match, and said he's going to have to play well. He's made 4 big saves already, and certainly that last one the biggest thus far.
There's Levy. His 4th straight start of the season. Davis doing battle with Julius 4 and wins a corner.
You can see that Reed Davis, like you said, he offers something different off the bench, and he's already doing it here, earning that corner with his strength and physicality, which is something Jacksonville didn't have a lot of up front earlier in this match.
Here's Jose Manjo off the bench to take the corner.
Jose's brother Jorge played for Pachuca in the Mexican League, Liga MX.
Cross to the far post. 2 defenders there for the Blue Jays. It is collected by Alex Dixon. Back to Beauplan. His chip in. Finds a Blue Jay defender. Now Pink with it. Jacksonville with their best attack since early on in this first half. Floated through in a dangerous ball as Cruz is run into and is now writhing on the ground in pain. And some words exchanged between Steven Saunders and Mitch LeGros.
No, I think Cruz makes a save here. This ball gets deflected on its way through, and it cannoned off Cruz. I think he'll be credited with an official stop, and then as we'll see it again here.
Take a look.
It went off Cruz first, and then he just collided with Steven Saunders, who's trying to get on the end of that cross.
Cruz up and moving. Looks to be okay. Heavy collision, as there have been several already in this first half. 14.5 to go. Still no score. Creighton's had the best opportunity. Koenig in one-on-one with freshman goalkeeper Matt Levy, but couldn't put it away. It was Koenig. Back to Polat. Ridestrand over to 4. And 4 loses possession. Does well to win it back and plays ahead for Espeleta. Dixon over.
Yeah, it's a good recovery by Julius 4 because he loses that in a dangerous spot. Jacksonville had a 3-on-2 going the other way if he doesn't at least break up that counterattack, and he was able to do it and win it back.
Ziad Ferris and Udai Tashiro coming on for Creighton. And we'll send Hawkinson and Espeleta to the bench. Yunus Boudadi out of Ypres, Belgium. Junior, transfer from Boston College. Take the throw. Ferris to Boudadi. Boudadi back toward the penalty spot. Ferris gets on it, and Ferris is offside.
Boudadi's looked very lively in this first half. A lot of attacks down that right side that have flowed through him, and he's been able to take on defenders and beat them and work that ball into dangerous spots. Just hasn't quite paid off for Creighton yet.
Boudadi's been an interesting addition to this team. He's a guy who's played at a high level. Club Brugge, 6 appearances for Morocco at the U17 African Cup. So a player who knows about playing at high level competition and has really added something to this roster.
Yeah, I've liked what we've seen from him in this first half tonight.
Kuba Polat. Here's LeGros. Keem Ward. Ward is touch just a bit too far out in front. Toshiro wins it back with a sliding challenge.
It was a risky challenge there. You better win it if you're going to go to ground like that, but he did.
Polot pressured from behind. Flicked up and pushed ahead. Here comes Jacksonville. Out wide for Saunders. Saunders will take that shot, and it gave Cruz a little bit of trouble. The low-driven shot. Cruz down to stop it, but not totally clean.
Well, that's why that cliche is true. Just put it on target sometimes. He didn't have a lot of options here. Low skimming shot, like you said, in Cruz. He had issues getting down with his hands. That almost squirmed under and behind him.
Here's Lufkin launching one ahead. Bryson Pink, another underclassman. Jacksonville started 6 underclassmen, freshmen and sophomores in this match.
Good work in close quarters by Saunders there to keep the ball.
Here's Beauplan. Run into by Toshiro. And it will draw the ire of Eber Estrada.
Toshiro's only 5'5", but he's a
spark plug.
He is. You can tell he's not going to be pushed around on the pitch. He's going to do most of the pushing, in fact. And he's been a little chippy since coming on. In this case, though, concedes a free kick, and these are the kind of chances you got to take advantage of if you're Jacksonville in a match like this. Set pieces in an attacking area, got to be a good delivery.
Taken by Monjo. Headed out, and then Koenig with the foot to put it into touch.
It was a good delivery, and a good job by Koenig to get something on that and disrupt it. Otherwise, that was shaping up to be a good opportunity at the top of the 6-yard box.
Jacksonville's going to bring on Nazar Deputat. A little extended halftime rest to Selemani Barouani. Trostin, the through ball. Couldn't get it through. He had Ferris. Now across to the far post. Off the post. And then cleared away. A dangerous moment right there. Nobody home. And it clicks off the inside of the post and stays out.
Yeah, it was Jose Monzo making something happen down that left side. And this was not an attempted shot. He's trying to clip a cross in across the face of goal, but it takes a deflection and almost spins inside that near stick. Jay's very fortunate in the end. This stays level.
Just under 9 minutes now remaining in the first half.
I gotta say, Jacksonville over the last 5 minutes or so, they've come into this game very well. Now they're posing a threat. Let's see if the Jays can get that momentum back.
Toshiro with the touch. And then he's dragged down from behind, but advantage Creighton. Ward into the box, and it's over the line for a goal kick, but they will bring play back for the yellow card. And Stephen Saunders will be the second Dolphin shown a yellow in this match.
Interesting decision by the referee, and he absolutely made the right decision, Eber Estrada, initially to allow play to continue, to play the advantage. It's a clear foul. Good job by Toshida to get the pass away as he's falling to the deck. And then sometimes a referee will pull it back for a free kick, but since he allowed that to go all the way to completion and it rolled out for a goal kick instead, he allowed the goal kick to stand, but issued the yellow. So very nuanced handling of that situation by the referee.
Down the wing. Chipped in. Headed up by Ward and had to be touched over by Paul Cruz. Another really nervy moment at the back for Creighton.
Yeah, we're seeing the Jays get caught on the counter a few times late in this first half, and it's mostly coming down that left side. And Akeem Ward, boy, he just gets this right, but only just, and that's not what he was trying to do, obviously.
Cruz didn't actually touch it, but it's a corner nonetheless. It's Deputat down in the corner, along with Manjo.
Jacksonville want the Jays defenders to be forced to move back. Jays are saying, we can stand here. What are you going to do about it?
Low driven cross. Nobody home for Jacksonville, and now a counter opportunity for Creighton. Can Trostin do anything with it? He cannot, and it's collected by Alex Salvador.
Yeah, I think that's Trostin just trying a little too hard to make something happen there. He's 1-on-3. Better served to pull it back and bring some teammates into the play.
Polat ahead for Trostin. Trostin for Koenig. And Dixon across well to clear it. Tashiro. After stealing the ball, he nutmegged Beauplan and then wanted a foul. Nothing comes, and it's a goal kick.
It was a fun little nutmeg. And I almost wonder if Tashiro hadn't thrown himself to the ground quite so theatrically if he would have gotten the call there, because there was some contact. It could have been called a foul. But I think the way Tashiro goes to ground here, the referee said, nah.
There was an extended arm.
Yeah, I mean, Beauplan puts his hands on him. That's technically a foul, but I think Tashiro made more of it than he needed to.
While we were in that replay, a substitution coming on for Creighton. Anthony Macchioni comes on for Sven Koenig. So new forward in there for the Blue Jays for the final 6 minutes and change. Here's Trostin. Ferris out wide for Budati. Budati the cross. Macchioni. And cleared away by Beauplan.
And he cleared it right before Tashiro was going to be able to pull the trigger with his right foot. Tashiro continues to look dangerous since coming on. He's all over the pitch, trying to get on the end of things, trying to make things happen, and it's been a nice addition.
Ferris running through. Can he get the cross away? He stops it in the box. Played back and then off a defender. Tashiro. Beauplan there. Off the boot of Trostin. And then Ward wins it back. Hakeem Ward has his pocket picked and then gets it right back for Trostin. Saunders has it taken away by Ward. And then he gives it right back to Saunders, who finally thumps it clear.
Hakeem was trying to win a corner there, just couldn't get the deflection off the defender that he was looking for.
Tashiro kept it alive and got fouled.
Oh, Jacksonville are livid about that call because they were off down the right on the counterattack. If that doesn't get called, and I think they felt Tashiro made too much of that and got a soft decision this time.
Here's Budati. Ridestrand. Here's Ferris. Ferris skipping past Jacksonville players. Ultimately turns it over. We'll take a look at what happened to Yudai Tashiro. Well, that's Mitch LeGros running into our camera down there on the sideline.
Yeah, stay tough down there, Shad. Our cameramen are very physical, too.
They certainly are.
Really stand up, and
they're going to get chippy here in a moment.
Chad's not going to get bullied down there in the touchline.
And now another discussion with our official, as that collision has drawn some blood for Mitch LeGros. He's going to have to come to the sideline and get taken care of.
Yeah, I think that's the camera lens.
A little split above the eyebrow. Mitch LeGros. Right there you see it as he turns. Runs right into the cameraman.
And you see Mitch just get right back to his feet. No big deal. Until somebody says, hey, you're bleeding.
Thumped in by Lufkin. Not controlled by Polat, who has to acrobatically clear it out. Trostin heads away.
See LeGros being attended to there. They're having to wrap a bandage around his head.
Blue Jays currently playing with 10.
It's a nice color-coordinated headband that he's wearing now.
Ferris away, down the far wing. Ferris, past Dixon. Ferris, back to the spot. Macchione couldn't control it. Back to the spot again, and Macchione denied. As play is stopped before that ball trickled into the back of the net. Macchione, 2 chances and couldn't put it away.
And he must have been offside at the second attempt, but boy, what a couple of wonderful opportunities. The first time, as we'll see it here, he just swings and misses. And then he gets one on target the second attempt. And apparently he's offside then, which is an interesting decision.
He can't be offside. The defender is behind him. It must have been dangerous play for playing the ball from a seated position.
Which I wasn't aware that that was illegal. I mean, unless they're saying that the foot was dangerous to the goalkeeper. But
dangerous play is always a referee's discretion kind of rule. It's a tough one to make heads or tails of. And I'm not, I can't be certain that that's the call, but that would seem to be the only thing I can see there. Meanwhile, Levy puts one into touch. We've got 1:40 to go in the first half, and we're going to see Gibson, Bryce Gibson, come on. Mitch LeGros still being attended to on the sideline. Gibson coming in at center back. Jays back to full strength for the final minute. Haven't been able to crack this Jacksonville defense.
Be a big win for Jacksonville if they could get to halftime at 0-0, especially with the pressure they've had to endure in this first half.
Beauplan watched by Toshiro. Toshiro wins it, but out into touch before he could get it onto the foot of another Blue Jay. And a throw in for Jacksonville. Davis. Pink plays it out wide. He's got Monjo. Monjo chipping through. He's looking for Deputat.
It's good positioning by Akeem Ward to win the goal kick.
Seconds to go. Cruz plays it out to Ward, and that will get us to the halftime buzzer. 0-0 on the scoreboard. 8 shots to 2. Creighton leads it. Jacksonville's put 2 on frame.
Creighton had their opportunities in that first half. Weren't able to finish. Although Jacksonville came close on a couple occasions too. This deflected cross, the closest they came. 0-0 at the break. You have the feeling there are definitely goals in this one though in the second half.
Back here at Morrison Stadium, Creighton Blue Jays host the Jacksonville Dolphins, the national attendance leaders. The Creighton men's soccer program averaging just a tick under 4,000 fans per game.
3,999 so far this season. Got to get that one extra for the flat 4,000 average, but another strong crowd tonight. Great to see. This program always so well supported, and especially so this year.
Number 9, Creighton against the 1-win Jacksonville Dolphins. Donnie, in the first half, the Blue Jays spent a lot of time on attack, but really didn't generate maybe as many dangerous opportunities as what we feel they should have.
Yeah, that soccer cliche about end product, it was very much the case in that first half. There was not a lot of end product from that Jays buildup over the first 45. They had some nice sequences, some good build-up play, some good touches and moments, but it just didn't result in enough. And then the couple clear opportunities they got, they didn't take advantage. Sven Koenig threw one-on-one with the goalkeeper, couldn't beat him. Anthony Macchione had a great chance in front of goal late in the first half and swung and missed. And those are the kind of chances you need to convert. Still 45 minutes for them to find the net.
And as we saw in those halftime highlights, might be fortunate to not have conceded on just the very few opportunities that Jacksonville did create. So we're back underway. 44-49 and counting left on the clock.
It does set up a very intriguing second half. You're right, John, because Jacksonville have been dangerous at times on the counter. They can certainly hit you on the break if Creighton aren't careful. And so this is finely poised.
It's Ferreira trying to win it back. Hawkinson's ball goes astray, and it will be Reed Davis back at the point of attack. The way we saw Jacksonville finish that first half seemed to be more effective with him in the middle.
Yeah, Davis used his size and strength very well after he came on in that first half, and Jace had some issues dealing with him at points.
Here's Dixon. Plays it ahead for Davis, and 4 wins the header. But it's touched inside, and Steven Saunders. But a swing and a miss from Saunders and Tashiro on it. Here's Rydstrand. Koenig turning into space. Back to Budati. In the middle for Polot. Polot. What a room for Polot. Tried to play it through for Ferris. Koenig back to Ferris, and it's touched away by a defender. Connor Lufkin, the center back in there, just got in the way.
What a stop by Connor Lufkin, and I'm not sure if he meant to do it or not. It'll be interesting to see the replay and see if Lufkin is actually facing this shot as it hits him on the goal line. Let's see. Yeah, he saw that all the way. That's an outstanding goal line clearance. Otherwise, it's 1-0 Creighton.
It's Yad Ferris looking for his 3rd goal of the season, denied. The corner comes through all the way through the 18-yard box, and Hawkinson now will send it back in towards the far post. It does stay in. And then a one-time effort from Rydstrand into the student section behind the south goal.
Well, it's the closest the Jays have come so far, and would have been a goal if not for Connor Lufkin being on the goal line, able to stick out that right hip and deflect it wide of that far post.
Temperature has really dipped now in Omaha, down to 58 degrees. Something that Jacksonville players will not be used to. Ferris doing battle with Salvador, and Salvador wins the throw for the Dolphins.
When you make that kind of goal line clearance, though, as a team that are underdogs in this match, as we look at this foul or this throw again, these are the kind of sequences that make you believe that maybe this is your night if you're Jacksonville. Maybe this is a game where you can steal at least a draw or maybe even a win if you can steal a goal from somewhere.
Well, you hate to say it, Donnie. We'll get to that point in just a minute as Ferris plays it in, but the one loss for Creighton on the season was at Grand Canyon, a team with not a lot of cachet, with some bad losses of their own, but the Blue Jays went out, sleptwalked through the game, and came up with a 1-0 loss.
Yeah, and that was a match where even though they were away from home, Creighton outshot Grand Canyon. I believe it was 21-8 in the match. They dominated the match even though they were not at their best at all and succumbed to a late goal, and that's certainly the danger here tonight.
Here's Baruani. Gives it back to Pink. Bryson Pink turning in. Back to Baruani. Inside for Saunders. Saunders plays it off a defender, and LeGros eventually does win it. Now Tashiro trying to break out. Head for Ferris. Ferris carrying into the heart of the defense. Now Koenig. Cuts to his right foot. Spins away from another defender. Budati. Cross comes in. Headed out and away. Tashiro Trying to turn it back in. Beauplan there. Now Ridestrand through for Ferris, but too far out in front.
Sven Koenig's upset. He wanted that ball to be slid into him at the top of the 18-yard box. Just a few signs of frustration creeping in for the Jays early in the second half. You see Koenig at the top of your screen there, slapping his hands in frustration off his thighs.
Strand cuts out the pass and pull out on it. Now played through for Koenig. He's not going to win the foot race with Dixon. And Levy just blasts it into the far stands.
It's good hustle by Koenig to not give up on the play, though, and force that desperate clearance and that throw for Creighton. Keep the pressure on.
Here's Ward. All the way across to Julius 4. Now Budati. Back outside for Ferris. It's going to chase him into touch. Just a lack of sharpness on the part of the Blue Jays here to open up the second half.
Yeah, and that's a case of one extra pass that probably didn't need to be made right there and right then. Had a good opportunity to turn toward the goal. Had a little more space behind him, Yunus Budati, than I think he realized as he received that ball at the top of the box.
Ferris. Back to 4. 4's pass is picked off. Bryson Pink plays it ahead for Reed Davis. Back in the middle. 2 green shirts and only 1 white. Creighton defender able to clear away. Flicked on for Davis. Ward running on. He gets there first and plays it back to Paul Cruz.
Just have to maintain their composure and their patience here. Yes, it's frustrating from their standpoint that they haven't broken through yet, but they're still in a good position. Just have to manage the game. Don't make any mistakes that allow those dangerous counterattacks for Jacksonville.
Ferris. Played through. Budati. Cross comes in. Near post. Flicked in front. And Hawkinson couldn't put it away. Another big save from Levy.
Yeah, and that's another good chance in front of goal. Macchione missed one in the first half, late in that first half, and here Luke Hawkinson at that front post. Well, it's a little behind him. He's just trying to flick it with that right heel. That's a difficult skill. That was a tougher chance than it looked like on replay.
Hit it out. Toshiro will chip it back in. And Koenig whistled for the foul. Just to give you some history on this Jacksonville defense, they gave up 3 goals to open the season to Appalachian State, 4 to Mercer, 4 to UNC Wilmington, 2-0 loss to North Carolina, a 4-1 loss to Portland, and then they gave up 5 goals to Georgia Southern. They lost 2-0 to UT Rio Grande Valley before they got a 3-2 win over Lipscomb.
Yeah, that's why the Jays would be really disappointed if they don't at least put a couple past them tonight. Again, Jacksonville, they're a talented team, as you said earlier tonight, a very young team. They're learning on the fly. And we talked about it. Last year they started 0-7, went on to narrowly miss out on winning their conference tournament, went to the championship game, lost in overtime. So they are a much more talented team than the numbers would indicate, but still, like you said, a team that has been breached repeatedly in defense this year. And a team that Creighton would expect to score some goals against. And they've come close. They've had opportunities, but not able to do it so far tonight.
And from the other perspective, what a win it would be for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Even if they could somehow manage a double overtime draw, it would be just a fantastic result for this program.
Look out.
As the ball gets to the end line. Ridestrand with a nervy touch away. Now Toshiro. He's got Ferris out on the wing. Ferris cutting in. Budati with the overlapping run. He tried to find Koenig in the middle, and Ferrero was there.
This time Koenig's pointing, saying, no, play it out wide. And his teammate Ferris is saying, well, last time you were mad at me for not passing it to you. This time you're mad at me for trying to pass it to you. What do you want, man? And that's where that frustration starts to creep in around the hour mark when you haven't scored yet and you haven't quite been able to create the end product you've been trying to create all night. You start to show in your body language, and that's where the Jays have to be careful because that frustration's starting to affect them. That's got to be handball, no? Wow.
No call. Barawani stuck out an arm. And 4 has to clear it away. Kuba Polat. Long run from Hawkinson. He's onside. Beauplan gets there. Hawkinson trying to go around the corner. And last touch by Beauplan, and it will be a corner, number 4 on the match for Creighton. That is a handball.
That's as blatant as they come. We certainly don't second guess refereeing decisions very often. We try to avoid it as much as humanly possible, but that's about as clear cut as it gets. That's got to be called.
Yeah, that's off the bicep.
And not just off the bicep, he's deliberately reaching for it.
Low cross in.
And that could easily have been a yellow card. I mean, that's deliberate handball.
That's intentional.
Can't do that. Fortunately, it didn't result in anything for Jacksonville.
Unfortunately for Creighton, Joel Rydstrand's going to get a do-over because his first hit on the corner hit Bryson Pink and went out. Meanwhile, Mitch LeGros is going to come back to the sideline as he's still bleeding.
Yeah, they took that headband off at halftime, and now they're going to have to reapply it, apparently.
Temporarily stitched up. And we are not back to action just yet, as Aber Estrada is not happy with how this has been done.
I think he's got to come off for now because he had to receive medical attention. Can't just come right back onto the pitch.
Creighton will take this corner with 10 men on the pitch. Rydstrand's delivery doesn't beat the first defender. Stays in the area, and then Ferris swings over the top of one. Here's Ferris. Into the corner for Hawkinson. Cross comes in. It's blocked away by Salvador. Now LeGros will be allowed to come back on.
Looks like Jacksonville are committing more bodies to defending that left flank of theirs, the right side of attack for the Jays. We saw so many attacks flow down that right side for Creighton in the first half, and Jacksonville weren't able to stem that flow. They're focusing on it more in the second 45. The Jays are having less success on that side so far.
Polat pings one across the field. Here's Tashiro. His touch lets him down, and it's a turnover. Jacksonville trying to break, but lack of sharpness on their part. And the ball goes back to Levy. 12 shots to 2 now. Creighton with the advantage. 4 on goal to 2 by Jacksonville. So both Jacksonville attempts have been on target. They've been efficient, if not very prolific in attack. Now Ferris has Budati on the overlap. From the end line. Nobody home.
Those crosses have just not been good enough from Creighton tonight.
Tashiro with a one-time effort. And it skims wide of the post.
That's a good effort from Tashiro. Just have a strike at goal. Be more direct. look to put that goalkeeper under pressure. All right, he's off target, but it's been enjoyable watching Toshiro on the pitch tonight. He's, like you said in the first half, a spark plug for this team, and they need it.
Here's Dixon. Now Salvador. There's a skimmed ball up to Davis, who spins away from the sliding challenge of Rydstrand. Now Steven Saunders. That has been the story for Jacksonville. They'll collect a turnover in midfield, make a couple of passes, and then leave one short. That one off the heel of Rydstrand from Ferris. Stays with it. And here's Toshiro once again. Inside for Koenig. Koenig turning on it. Koenig, far post, and it's in! Sven Koenig opens the account for Creighton, and it's 1-0 Blue Jays.
You're looking for that moment of class and calmness in front of goal, and that's exactly what Sven Koenig provides. Beautiful touch, and this little hesitation here. What a great finish that is. Looking so much more confident since he got that first goal of the year a few matches ago after that struggling 2017. Well, he missed a one-on-one opportunity with the goalkeeper in the first half. Doesn't miss this time. Classy, classy finish.
Fourth goal for Sven Koenig on the 2018 campaign. He spun past two Jacksonville defenders and finally beat the freshman goalkeeper to the far post. The 14th shot of the match for Creighton finds the back of the net, and now with 30 minutes and a half left, the Blue Jays lead it 1-0.
It was just that little body hesitation for a split second to freeze the goalkeeper and send him to the deck and then calmly roll it past his right foot. That's so well done, and that's so difficult to do, to have the calmness in that moment, to slow yourself down and finish that coolly. That's so well done.
Threaded through for Ferris, but Levy out to collect. And it didn't look like much when the ball was played into Koenig. He had a lot of work left to do when he received that ball. Grow going to battle with Colombo over on the far side. We've seen several players going to battle with Jesus Colombo.
Yeah, see if the Jays can get under Colombo's skin a bit the way they did in the first half. Remember, Colombo picked up that early yellow card, and then he was a little bit unhinged for the next couple minutes.
Short corner. Ward there to deny. It'll be a corner again. Now signaled the other way. It's a goal kick. Certainly looked like it came off Ward last. Barouani on the stick for Jacksonville. He's going to come on for Saunders. And it's Barouani going back to the head of the attack. Maybe running two forwards now with Barouani and Reed Davis at the top. A little change in formation. We'll see if the tactics change as well.
Let's take one more look at Sven Koenig's finish a moment ago. Watch this little hesitation right here. It just freezes the goalkeeper and sends him the wrong way. That's so good.
It's a finisher's goal.
Yeah. And it's moments like that where you can see why he scored 21 goals a couple of years ago at the Division II level with Hawaii Pacific. And you're waiting for that to emerge all of last year. Never really got going.
Koenig once again finds Ward. Ward, right-footed strike is just over the bar.
No, this is better from Creighton. And Ward, who hasn't gotten forward as much in this second half. He has a potent left foot. That's one fly there, a little bit off target, but well, the old cliche, goals change games. You can see the relief for Creighton and the confidence now going forward as they've cracked that scoreboard finally.
Julius 4. Now Ferris Budati racing for the end line. Keeps it from being a goal kick.
Good hustle by Budati. And now let's see what Jacksonville have, because they've been under pressure most of the night. They've been reduced to counterattacks, and they haven't been able to counter very effectively in this second half. And now they need at least one. There's still a lot of time left, but they're going to have to get forward more and take more chances as this second half wears on if they continue to trail.
Here's Ridestrand. Mitch LeGros with that big bandage on his head, coming from that collision with the cameraman in the first half. Here's Ferreira, who's been very quiet tonight. Reed Davis skips past Toshiro. Baruani stayed on side. Crosses, far post. Just a little too far for Antunes. Antunes squared up on Budati, played it inside. Davis, shot from distance, is deflected by Ridestrand and Cruz down to collect.
Good job by Cruz to keep that from going out for a corner. So there's Jacksonville showing a little more attacking intent. First time in this second half, really, they've had possession in the final third against Creighton's defense. You can see them pushing up a little bit more here, playing a higher line than they have most of the night.
Dolphins bringing the press.
It's all going according to plan for Jacksonville until that Koenig finish a few minutes ago.
Koenig dragged down, no foul called. And play on, says the ref. Take a look.
Yeah, Koenig certainly wanted a foul. It's just a little knee-to-knee collision. That's certainly a painful one. Only a 50-50 decision that doesn't go Creighton's way this time.
Just under 25 minutes remaining. Blue Jays lead it 1-0 on the Sven Koenig tally. Here's Ridestrand. Now Yunus Budati, who's looked dangerous all night long. Giveaway here, and Ridestrand with the sliding challenge wins it back.
There's where Ridestrand's so important to this team, breaking up potential counterattacks. He's done that a few times tonight where his team loses the ball. Jacksonville look like they're away on the counter, and then he's able to break it up and snuff it right out before it even starts.
Chip through for Akeem Ward. It's a 3-on-2. Blue Jays have numbers. Koenig couldn't get on the end of that chipped pass from Akeem Ward. Here's Ferris turning inside. Ziad Ferris finds Toshiro. Good touch ahead from Toshiro, who chips it, but it's wide. And Levy will watch it sail through and take the goal kick.
Just couldn't get it to sit down for him off that turf bounce to Shiro.
Steven Saunders will re-enter the match. And Bryson Pink coming to the bench. Saunders is another Jacksonville player who we've seen involved in some altercations. Had words with a couple Blue Jay defenders. The game hasn't had that knife edge that it had in the first half. It hasn't been as cracking. Ferris with a number of step overs. Doesn't do anything in the way of getting him past the defender, however.
It was fun, though. Crowd enjoyed it.
Out wide for Ward. to Rydstrand. Jacksonville penned back, as they have been for much of this match. Now the pressure relieved. Ferris slides it away. Now Ferreira. He starts something for the Dolphins. The leading scorer has barely been on the ball tonight.
This is where the defensive solidity the Jays have shown so far this season will come into play. When you're nursing a late lead, obviously you'd love to get that second goal and make it a lot safer and more secure, but one goal's been enough for them most of the time this season.
The Jays have outscored opponents 11-2 now on the season. Luke Hawkinson coming to the bench. Maple Grove, Minnesota native. One of those players who has gotten some attention from overseas. Luke was invited to the West Ham United America camp back in 2010. He's the only 13-year-old from the United States invited to that. Luke's had a nice start to the 2018 campaign. Probably has a couple of opportunities he'd like to have a redo on. We saw a couple of those.
Maybe West Ham could have used him so far this year. I'm not sure.
No doubt.
It could be much worse than what they've put out so far. Had a good result against Chelsea, though, the other day.
Thank you. Here's Budati. His cross finds a green shirt, and Akeem Ward collects it. Back to Ward. Tried to play it through for Koenig. Stays with it. Koenig holding. Ferris. Right-footed effort over the bar. And out of the blender, the ball popped to the foot of Ziad Ferris, and he just missed.
That's decent improvisation off a broken play. You see the Jays get in each other's way. Koenig inadvertently took the ball away from Rydstrand as Rydstrand wanted to tee that up himself. And then it falls to Ferris, who it's a good strike but couldn't keep it down.
Ferris on it once again. Turned over to Salvador. Baruani with it. He'll play one out wide. That's Colombo. Watched by Ward. Colombo trying to skip past, but good defensive play by Akeem Ward.
He's so valuable. Such a valuable player for Creighton. He can get forward, join the attack, create danger in the final third, but then he's very good in those one-on-one duels. They're so important. And he wins a huge one there.
Under 20 minutes to play now. Blue Jays still hanging on to that single goal. Sven Koenig's fourth of the season. This one popped through. Koenig running on once again. It comes off of Koenig and not cleared out. A mistake by Levy, and Koenig has his second. Fifth goal of the season. Jays lead it 2-0.
Well, his first goal was about class and calmness in front of the net. This one's all about persistence. Hustling after the play, even when it looks like the goalkeeper's going to get there first. Able to knock it down. Open net after that. Bad mistake by the goalkeeper, as you said, but you're only there to capitalize if you took the gamble and you made the effort in the first place. And Sven Koenig is having an MVP night for the Jays.
Levy attempting to clear the ball after the threaded through pass. Hit it right into Sven Koenig, and it stayed in play as he was running on. What a fortunate break for the Blue Jays. Now at 2-0 with 18:46 to go. Certainly looks like Creighton's going to extend that winning streak to 5.
And that's, to say that's demoralizing for Jacksonville is incredibly obvious, but also very accurate as Koenig's going to go off here to a rousing ovation, which he deserves.
A brace for Sven Koenig.
Yeah, we talked about it so much throughout last season, even the first couple of matches this year. When is Sven Koenig going to get it going? Because you could see it. You could see the potential, the skill, the class. Just wasn't finishing. Didn't have that confidence in front of goal. And ever since that goal he scored a couple weeks ago here at Morrison Stadium, he's been on a roll. Again, that first goal was so coolly taken. And then that last one, just great effort. Put himself in position to profit from a mistake.
And now you begin to wonder, will Jacksonville go completely in the tank as Ward striding forward? Played a ball in for Macchioni, but didn't come off.
Yeah, they've been prone to conceding goals in bunches this year. Jays will look to pour it on now if they can.
Don't know what the results are around the rest of the league, but 5 goals now for Sven Koenig would put him in a tie for first with Zach Zandy of Villanova. There are some Big East teams that have interesting non-conference games this week. Xavier, who just cracked the top 25 this week at number 22, they've got a showdown with Notre Dame. So a tough one there as they look to perhaps move a little higher in the rankings after making it in the first time this season. And Georgetown, who's just on the outside of the top 25 as Akeem Ward goes through, and his cross zips through the 6-yard box. Nobody on the end of it.
Well, it's a shame there was nobody able to get on the end of that cross, because that was a highlight reel sequence for Akeem Ward. We pick it up at the tail end after he's won that battle with 2 different defenders and spun and twisted and turned and somehow gotten through them. Tremendous effort by Ward to put that across the face of the goal.
Ward's having an all Big East type season. Have another look at this.
It looks like he's got nowhere to go here. 1 defender, 2 defenders, turn left, somehow hooks around between, back around again, see ya. Here comes a dangerous cross. Akeem Ward's so fun to watch.
The other Big East teams in action is Georgetown, just outside the top 25 receiving votes, have a big-time game with number 6 Louisville. RPI building type matches. Here's we've hit about the midpoint this season.
Jays are getting ready to make a triple substitution, it looks like, at the next stoppage. Looks like Connor Ramlow, Bryce Gibson, and Pepe Cejudo are all ready to come on.
Free kick to Jacksonville. This one swung in dangerously and then put on frame. Goal scored by Alex Dixon. That's going to break up the shutout streak and the scoreless minutes as the defender for Jacksonville puts an end to the Blue Jay shutout streak here at home with 14:55 remaining in the match, coming off the free kick.
It's a beautifully taken free kick, flicked along. You always talk about that second ball. The Jays were not in position to win that second ball. And Alex Dixon made it his. Good finish from point-blank range. And that free kick itself came off a slack little pass in their own half. I think it was Ziad Ferris, who's had a good game on that right side for the Jays tonight, but it was just a slack little ball. And it led to Jacksonville winning possession, led to them winning the free kick, and it leads to the goal. And suddenly, this game is far from over yet.
2-0, it looked done and dusted, but Jacksonville right back into it on Alex Dixon's second goal of the season. Macchione back to Ramlow. Bryce Gibson, the other substitute.
You can hear the intensity on those touch lines. Just amped up after that goal.
Ridestrand running on. He's touched away by Dixon. You might not have suspected that this is the team that would break the shutout streak, but there he is, the man that did it, Alex Dixon. There's your trivia question answer. In 2018, when the Blue Jays were threatening to break a school record for scoreless minutes, he did it.
Yeah, that's one that'll really annoy the Jays, even if they hang on for the win, and obviously that's the priority now. You can't worry about that. Got to see out these final 13 and a half minutes and ensure you come away with the victory, but when they watch that on film, they won't be too pleased either with the way they defended that free kick or the sequence that led to that free kick in the first place.
Free kick now for Creighton. Ridestrand standing over the ball.
Jacksonville are frustrated at how long the referee's allowing this free kick to take.
To the far post and headed away. Knocked out into touch by Redondo Boplan.
Even though the Jays don't score on that free kick, this just consumed a solid minute off the clock so far, and now they have a throw-in which they'll take their time before taking. Jacksonville, obviously, they want to get this tempo going again. They have some momentum for the first time in a while. The Jays are trying to throttle this game back down.
Popped in for Macchione. Clever little flick. His luck ran out. It's cleared up. Ramlow watches it over the touchline, and it's a throw-in in the Creighton offensive zone. There's Dixon. Out wide for Salvador. Touched away by Ferris. Now threaded through for Ridestrand. There's Ferris, the cross off the foot of Dixon in a corner one.
Really well done. Great sequence, and Ferris starts it with a tenacious little tackle in the midfield area. Starts the counterattack, and then wins the corner at the other end.
Ridestrand delivers. Headed down by Gibson. And Ramlow running on, keeps it alive. There's Macchione. Back to Ramlow. Ramlow with time. Gibson on it. His header goes astray, and it'll be out for a goal kick.
Oh, that's too bad. That's a great run by Gibson. Jacksonville lost him completely. He was able to ghost in between a couple defenders and just couldn't finish. See it again here. It's a great cross from Ramlow. Gibson just gets between those two green shirts. Couldn't steer that header on target.
Macchione wins the battle. Now Ridestrand with it. Booms one to the corner. Way out in front of Ferris, but Ferris tracks it down in the corner. For Gibson. Bryce Gibson back to the middle and cleared away by Lufkin.
Gibson's so tall and lanky, just couldn't get that ball out of his feet to shape himself to shoot after he received it in the box.
Here's Ferris, plays one through. Good ball for Cejudo. Cejudo tried to go near post. Levy was down to stop it. Cejudo might have been better served to play that back across into a dangerous position.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot on the shot, which is what allowed the goalkeeper to save and cover and prevent the corner. And Jacksonville trying to counter quickly, chasing a goal inside these final 10 minutes.
Salvador throws it into Davis. Trostin taken out. That'll be a free kick to Creighton. Or Trostin hasn't had a lot to say here in this second half. We haven't heard much from him. He was very involved in the first half.
I was going to say, it's the first time we've called his name in the second half, but that was a good work by him there to win that free kick and milk some more time off this clock. This stage in the game, you don't need fancy things or flashy plays. Sometimes you just need little grindy, gritty plays like that.
Cejudo wins the header. Trostin over to Toshiro. Now Ridestrand, Ward. Creighton pinging it around. Just trying to wear out that clock that is now down around 8 minutes. Trostin. He's got Ward. Ward touches way out in front of himself and then had to chase it down. His cross into the waiting hands of Matt Levy.
Yeah, Ward, like you said, a little bit too heavy of a touch. Doesn't leave himself with many options, even though he chases it down by the end line.
Dixon, the goal scorer. And his pass nearly sends Lufkin into touch. Lufkin pings one ahead. Won by Davis. Kept alive on the far side. Here's Saunders. Saunders switches play over to Baruani. Gibson and Ferris combined to stop Baruani, but give away a corner. Another set-piece opportunity for Jacksonville.
Good work by Baruani to win it. Didn't have a lot of options there and was able to play it off the defense for a set piece. And again, Jacksonville scored their goal off a set piece about 10 minutes ago. Jays again are defending this corner short, and Jacksonville again are not happy about it.
Delivered in, far post, all alone, back post knotted down and headed up. And finally cleared away by Toshiro. What another dangerous moment created by Jacksonville.
Well, you talked earlier about the lack of height in this Jays team. Maybe it's their one weakness in defense. Didn't defend the set piece when they conceded the goal 10 minutes ago. Didn't defend this corner well at all. Look how much space Davis has on that back stick. And then it's just a scramble, and the Jays are able to head it clear.
Nodded away. Ridestrand gives it back to Trostin. Trostin finds Cejudo. Now Macchioni running on. Under 6. As a near giveaway. One back by Cejudo. This one played down into the corner. Ferris will try and race onto it. Levy coming out. And Levy boots it into touch.
It's never a bad play. Just kick it toward that far corner when you're leading by a goal late. Even if your guy doesn't get there. Worst case scenario, the other team has a throw and they have to go the length of the pitch.
Now Ferris slides past Salvador, but it's a goal kick.
Well, if Jacksonville aren't able to find the equalizer in these final 5 minutes, they'll think back to that mistake from Levy, unfortunately, for that second goal. You never know how things would have unfolded after that. Would Jacksonville have attacked the same way? Would they have scored that goal off the set piece? We'll never know, but in theory, you think, well, it could have been 1-1 if it weren't for that mistake.
20 shots to 4. Now the advantage for Creighton.
Yeah, as much as Creighton have dominated this match in terms of shots, until that opener from Koenig around the hour mark, they'd not really created a lot. And what they had created, they'd wasted pretty poorly. And Jacksonville were starting to feel more and more confident that maybe they could get something from this match. They still could.
Battle with Ward down in the corner. Played back to the penalty spot. Davis just couldn't handle it. Now Ferreira with it. Pink had an opportunity as well. Here's Monjo. He has it taken away. Pumped forward for Macchioni, who bangs into Lufkin, and a foul called on Anthony Macchioni.
Lufkin's feeling that heavily, but he's trying to get on with it because that clock's running.
And you look at Anthony Macchioni, the Akron transfer, Portland Timbers Academy product out of Camas, Washington. Free kick to be taken by Monjo. Saunders gets ahead to it. Ward nods it back out wide, and Toshiro there. Bang it up the field. And then, here comes Ramlow. Rather toward Trostin. Trostin. And a save, but comes back to Trostin. Trostin then plays it off a defender on an empty net. The Blue Jays with a 3-on-1. How did it stay out?
Well, it's a brilliant save from Levy, who's still down, and the clock is stopped now with 2:39 remaining. As we'll see it again, like you said, a 3-on-1. Now that's a head save by Levy. Didn't know much about it, but put himself in position to make the save, and did, as he stoned Luke Hawkinson. Hawkinson had a man to his right. I just wondered if he would make the extra pass here.
Rydstrand plays it right off of his face.
Yeah.
And then it's the free kick taker, Monjo, who gets back and gets in the way. And Trostin somehow doesn't score. And you're right, Donnie. If Rydstrand plays that ball into the feet of the on-rushing player, it's probably an easy tap-in.
Yeah, it's easy to say after the fact. And, of course, if he finishes and puts that past the keeper for 3-1, you say, well, it's good decisiveness. You had the chance right in on goal. You finished great. But when you don't score, then you wonder. And you had that guy on the overlap. But the goalkeeper was rushing out. Levy was coming out to cut down that angle so quickly. I don't know if Rydstrand felt he had the time to make the additional pass.
And Levy knew nothing about it.
No.
It hit him in the side of the head. And it was Macchioni who was out wide.
Yeah.
But a 3-on-1 break. And it comes to nothing. 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining. They're checking out the freshman goalkeeper. Meanwhile, Patrick Harding is warming up. Patrick Harding, we haven't talked about him. He hasn't played. He was preseason all-conference in goal for the A-Sun. But then he allowed 13 goals in 4 starts, and they've gone to Levy and been a little bit better. Corner to come. Gibson on the end of it, and Levy there to collect it.
Connor Lufkin is really limping. Took another sore one there, and he's struggling to stay in this game.
And time called, as I believe it was Cejudo who whistled for standing in front of the keeper while he's going to punt it.
Yeah, you see Lufkin there really struggling, just trying to get through these final 2.5 minutes and finish this match. Of course, Jacksonville hoping they can find an equalizer and force overtime, but if they were to do that, I don't know if Lufkin would be in there for the extra sessions. He's had a rough second half physically.
Redshirt sophomore out of Tampa.
Referee didn't like the way he a moment ago.
I don't know if that was Macchioni standing in front of the keeper, though, was it?
I'm not sure either. The referee apparently thought it was.
Definitely it was. I thought it was Pepe Cejudo. producer has confirmed that it is. It was Cejudo standing in front of the keeper, so I don't know if Macchione said something that drew the yellow card or if it's a case of mistaken identity, but he's got a yellow card to his credit, or detriment, as it were. Off the foot of Gibson with 1:41 to go. Crossed in by Monjo and nodded on by Saunders, and it was always going wide.
Oh, it's a great opportunity and good work by Monzo to create that space and whip that ball in. See, he's in traffic here and then creates that space to put a great cross in, and he puts it right on Saunders' head, and Saunders just can't quite get up high enough and direct it on target. Great opportunity, might be their last of the match.
Macchione running on, beats Salvador to it. Now it's Ferris. Ferris knocks.
Point.
Ferris. And now he just has Dixon. Thumped ahead. And Cejudo and Ridestrand will chip one out wide. Here's Troston. And Troston should be able to run out the clock over there on the wing as he drops it back to Ward. Now Ward going to send it all the way back to Paul Cruz with 5 seconds. 4. And that's the game. A scrappy affair for the visiting Jacksonville Dolphins. As they come in, they break the scoreless streak for Creighton, but come up a little bit short as the Blue Jays extend the winning streak to 5 games and move to 6-1-1 on the season.
Probably not their best performance of the year. Werner Sharp, as we've seen them much of this season, found the way to find the goals and get the result, and that's what great teams do. Sven Koenig, your man of the match.
Sven Koenig with 2 goals. Blue Jays win it 2-1. For all of our fantastic crew here at Morrison Stadium, for my partner Donnie Barnes, I'm John Schreiner. Thanks for joining us here on Jays Video for Blue Jays Soccer. Jays win it 2-1 for Jacksonville.